Hello, Ramley and other of the family. In this video, we're talking Stafford, Kupp, Williams, Jackson, free agency, all about the Los Angeles Rams offseason coming up, and so much more. This is the Rams Radar. Yes, we are fully in offseason content mode here. Oh well, we'll have some fun talking about it. I have a number of topics here I'm going to cover. So the first one, and I'm going to kind of word these as the dominoes that need to fall for the Rams before the start of the new league year, which is March 12th, 2025. So when in the grander scheme of thing, that is coming up fast, right? Like here it's January, just the end of January. Lots to figure out before that date over the next month and a bit. And these are the dominoes that need to happen to really gauge what this Rams team is going to look like in the offseason and later on to next season, 2025. So that being said, the first thing we got to figure out here, and this domino is like already fallen a little bit, but I think it's almost fully fell, and I think the Rams are going to be okay. But the first one is coaching turnover or brain drain. I was a little surprised that Chris Shula, the Rams defense coordinator, and Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur did not get opportunities to become a head coach. I'm thankful as a Rams fan. I want them back next year. I love having that continuity, especially with Chris Shula at the DC position. But there is some minor brain drain that could be happening here. Let me just bring this up here. Yeah. So Jeremy Fowler tweeted out that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have requested that Nate Steelhouse be interviewed for their offensive coordinator position. He is currently the Rams pass game coordinator or specialist. I forget the exact job title. But so that's something, to consider. He's only been with the Rams this 1 year. So congrats to him if he does get that. That's a huge opportunity for him. And so we wish Nate nothing but, the best if he does go to Tampa. But if he's back with the Rams next year, we're okay with that because continuity is cool. And now the major domino that needs to fall that's going to affect a lot of other dominoes here. Matthew Stafford. Yeah, you heard me. I said it. Matthew Stafford. Because there's a couple things to consider here with Stafford. You have, number one, he's 36, turning 37 soon. He just completed his 16th NFL season. It's totally fair for him to take some time, talk to wifey Kelly, talk to his family, his friends, consult a doctor, just because when you get up there in age, and decide, hey, do I want to retire? Do I want this to be that's the end of the end of my NFL career? I don't think Stafford wants to retire. That is my kind of optimistic outlook on life. I am not in the camp of Stafford retiring. I think Stafford wants to come back with the Rams, which then Stafford has like a couple dominoes. So that's like, okay, the retirement question, domino one. Then next domino, contract. He had a bit of a contract beef last year in the form of guaranteed money and just kind of like he wanted more, in line with where the market is at for the quarterback position. He totally has the right to do that. And I think it's going to come up again here. McVay did say that he would not like that to go into the summer like it did last year, and that they would know sooner rather than later if Stafford is coming back and what that looks like. You see guys like Mike Florio or something, they float the Stafford trade rumors. I think if Stafford's back, he knows his best shot at winning a Super Bowl is with the Rams. I don't see Stafford wanting to get traded Like, is there a team out there that doesn't have a quarterback that looks ready to win a Soupy? Nope. Like, I don't see it. I mean, I remember, I think a Vikings fan commented on my video that maybe the Vikings. I I just don't see that, like, with they have JJ McCarthy coming up. I don't see a scenario where Stafford is traded, and I don't see Stafford wanting to get traded. I think that there's a lot to work with here, and I think the Rams are in a better financial position right now that they're able to have those negotiations with Stafford. So I see Matthew Stafford. It'll be like the retirement question gets answered, first domino. Then next domino is the contract discussion after that. Now, that domino, I believe, will lead to all these next dominoes coming out. And the first one being one Cooper Kupp. If Stafford retires or is traded, hypothetically, I think that the odds of the Rams keeping Cooper go down significantly. And they would ultimately have to go through a pretty dramatic restructure of their offense if Stafford were to retire or get traded. Cooper Kupp has made it clear he wants to play next year. He's only 31 years young. I more than happy to see Cooper Kupp back. I'm one of the people that, like, I know this isn't how the NFL works, but if Cooper Kupp came back on his current contract that he's still technically under, I'd be okay with it. Now, that's why I'm not GM of the Rams, but because he does command a very high salary right now for kind of the production that he's been getting. But I think there's so many benefits that if you can sit down with Cooper Kupp, work out a deal to keep him with the Rams, I think that's in the best interest for Kupp and the Rams. I would like to see Cooper Kupp be one of those players that finishes his career with the Rams. But that's a domino that needs to fall to kind of gauge, what happens. And again, if Cooper Kupp is not a Ram next year, well, I know we have a pretty decent wide receiver room in Puka Nacua there, but there's a lot of other question marks at that wide receiver room. Tutu Atwell's a free agent, Marcus Robinson. We'll talk about them a little bit later on, but just there's a lot of question marks with that wide receiver room. The next domino, and this one might even be the most important domino that we talk about here, AJ Jackson, also known as Lyric Jackson, Canadian, 6'7" and 345 pounds of muscle. He's been a rock at the left tackle position. He was an undrafted free agent. He's 26 years young. 77 on the field, number one in our hearts. Big fan of Lyric Jackson. If as a Canadian, I would love to one day interview him. But he has earned himself a big contract, whether that's with the Rams or another team. He has earned himself a big contract. For this domino to fall, I would like Jackson to be signed before the start of the new league year. However, there is a scenario here because he's an unrestricted free agent. Maybe he really wants to test free agency, right? Like, he is going to make life-changing amount of money, and some players want to, they want to be wine and dine, right? They want to test the market. And so we'll see if the Rams can't come to an agreement with him before then. And is Lyric Jackson a free agent that will command a lot of interest on the open market, right? Like, look at any team that had a bad O-line, like, the Giants or the Jets, right? Like any of these teams that struggled to protect their quarterback, they would be definitely whining and dining Lyric Jackson. And so that's another huge, massive domino to fall and figure out before the March 12th. Next one, yeah, you know him, you love him, Kyren Williams, the Rams running back. He's 24. He's got lots of good football left in him. And he was a 5th-round pick back in 2022, he's coming off of a really good year, right? He had 316 carries for almost 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. I think the question with Kyren Williams is, what do you pay a running back in the NFL this year, right? And I think Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, they've helped kind of show that veteran running backs really are a huge benefit to a team. Kyren getting extended now, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. The benefit to extending Kyren now can't be understated because he's still on his rookie year. He has one more year left, and extending him now helps give essentially negotiate for the future, right? So I'm a big believer that Kyren Williams has earned an extension with the Rams. I think that his best football is still in front of him. I think that he has the work ethic. He has all the intangibles you'd like to see. And I think it would suck to see Kyren Williams go and be in another uniform. Not that would happen this year, but I definitely see Kyren Williams with the Rams. I think they'll find a way to extend him and have that negotiation done before the March 12th deadline. Now, that being said, this domino is not necessarily as pressing because he still is under contract. Is Kyren maybe someone who his extension comes at another point in the offseason? I could see that being a thing. I very much could be. But that's another huge domino that needs to fall. All right, and then the final domino we'll talk about here is just Rams' other free agents here. And I'll just go over them quick here on overthecap.com. Lots of question marks here. But so just to point out, the Rams have they have 38 million right now in cap space, just over 38 million. And some of that will obviously be taken up by contract negotiations with Stafford. Lyric Jackson will take a good, healthy chunk of that. And so whatever is remaining, and again, the Rams will probably look to restructure Kupp or move on from him to get some savings. So this cap number is definitely going to change a lot over the next month and a half. But if we look here at the Rams free agents, so we talked about Lyric Jackson here at left tackle. I think he's back with the Rams. I would be shocked if the Rams did not sign him to a big deal. Joseph Noteboom, unfortunately, I do think his signing a number of years ago, and I know he's had some contract renegotiations, but I don't think Noteboom is back with the Rams team next year. I think he'll become a free agent and he'll look to sign with another team. Demarcus Robinson is an interesting one because he's coming off back-to-back one-year prove-it deals with the Rams. I think we need to figure out what's going to happen with this Rams wide receiving room first with Cooper Kupp to find out if he's back or not. I'm honestly if you would have asked me right at the end of the season, I would have said, yeah, Demarcus Robinson, he's coming back. I know he said on Twitter he wants to be back. He wants to figure it out. But I also think he's looking for more than a one-year deal. I'm 50-50 if Robinson is back or not. He was at times very productive for the Rams. Can that production be replaced? I think it can, through the draft or maybe developing guys like Jordan Whittington. But I wouldn't mind him coming back, but I'm 50-50 he comes back. Jimmy G, backup quarterback. I totally think he wants to come back to the Rams, and this is my own speculation. I think he enjoys living in LA. He likes being around Sean McVay. I think that he is cool at this point in his career, backup to Stafford. Now, that being said, he also sees Stafford as okay, if Stafford moves on, Jimmy G potentially could be the starting quarterback for the Rams week 1 next year. So I think Jimmy views the Rams as a better spot for his career because he's kind of been cast off by the rest of the NFL for the most part. I don't know how much market there would be for Jimmy G. I think he's back as the Rams' backup quarterback, and I don't see him getting commanding a very large salary. Michael Hoyt, Canadian. I hope he's back. I really hope he's back. LA baby, yeah. Michael Hoyt, he's a fun, fun person to have on the Rams. It's been cool to see his career because he's developed each and every year, and he's turned into a great leader on the Rams defense. I just don't know what his free agent market would be. I think he's another one of those players I'm 50-50 on. Not sure he's back. Tutu Atwell, former second-round pick for the Rams, coming to his time. I think Tutu walks. It's unfortunate because he really has gotten a lot better, from his rookie season to where he is now. But I think he's looking for more than just like a 1-year deal, he is. Like, he's a young player, right? He's only 26. I see Tutu Atwell testing the free agent market, and I think that his production can be replaced to the draft. And I don't see a scenario where Tutu Atwell is back with the Rams, which is sad to see players like that go, but it's the nature of the NFL. Christian Roseboom. Oh, that's an interesting one. The Rams linebacking play this year, it improved towards the end of the season. Roseboom is a big reason of that. Omar Spates is a big reason of that. I don't know the Rams just don't pay linebackers, right? Like, we've seen this. And I would be shocked because I thought for sure the Rams would pay Ernest Jones last year as a linebacker. I thought that was going to be the Rams they don't pay linebackers very often, but Ernest Jones will be the exception. If they give Roseboom a bigger contract, like a big contract, and then they had kind of their falling out with Ernest Jones, I don't get that. That would confuse me. But I could see a scenario where Roseboom is back with the Rams. It'll depend on, obviously, kind of what his cap hit will be, but I can see that. John Johnson, he's kind of been on and off with different teams, but mainly the Rams. I think, he's 30. I think the Rams could look to continue to improve that safety room. I feel like John Johnson's going to be one of those players that doesn't get signed, and then when there's some injuries in like training camp or something, he could come back to the Rams or any team. Hunter Long, the tight end from the Dolphins that the Rams had to trade Jalen Ramsey for. Another one of those just tough situations to figure out. Not exactly sure what he would command on the open market. Probably not very much. So I think if he really wants to be back with the Rams, I could see that happening. But I kind of lean 75%. He's gone. I think the Rams will move on from Hunter Long, and they'll look to develop some other young tight end that they draft or something like that. Connor McDermott, again, kind of a similar situation as Hunter Long. Mikel Witherspoon, he's an interesting name at the cornerback position. He's 30. He didn't get re-signed last year, but then he didn't get signed by anyone. He's played really well at times, and a veteran corner like him that can stay healthy, there's value in that. I think the Rams let him at least test the free agent cornerback market, but I could see I'm probably 50-50 if Mikel is back with the Rams or not. Murchison, I don't. He's a role player. Again, I don't see it. I don't think he's back. Tyler Johnson, wide receiver, maybe. He's again pretty low on the depth chart. Maybe. I think he would like to get back with the Rams just for some stability for his family. I don't see him having a huge free agent market. Troy Reader, I don't think is back with the Rams. Gallimore, Bobby Brown, like I'm kind of in that same boat. Just I think the Rams are going to look to continue to improve this defense that that they've developed, this core, and I'm not sure they're back next year. Ronnie Rivers, the rushing river, I have no. I don't see a scenario where he's back because of Blake Corum, and I think the Rams will look to draft a running back because they draft a running back each and every year. So I don't think Ronnie Rivers is back. Jake Hummel, again, I think if at the right price, he'll be back with the Rams. I could definitely see that, and it'll be interesting to see if he does get an opportunity. I think he's played well enough. He's still going to be in the NFL. He's going to get an opportunity, and he is a restricted free agent with the Rams. So that helps too. So I think he's back. Then Dylan McMahon, he's a backup center. I could see a scenario where he is back with the Rams, just because he is an exclusive restricted free agent. But yeah, so that's kind of the Rams free agents you got to look out for. There's a good, healthy chunk of them, and this is part of the NFL experience, is getting new talent each and every year with the team. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Hope you're having a great day, and feel free to like and subscribe for more Rams content. As always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. Let's go Rams. Woo!
Thank you very much.